In case you haven't noticed, I've been staring at you all night. You? Me?
Another one.
Oh yeah, I'm the sperm donor you've been looking for.
Oh, hell no!
Now, I'm sure those lines have worked for some guy out there, but not. Let's try to have a little bit more class. So first up, let's talk about the conversations you've already had with her in your head. Yes, you guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen her again and again in your mind. You've actually worked through how you're going to start the conversation, what she's even said back to you. You've thought through this multiple times, but what you need to remember is those are all assumptions. The problem here is that all of a sudden you say, oh, you know what? She's just too beautiful. She's got too much going on. And you start to reject yourself before you even throw it out. You have things going on and our minds will rationalize. It tries to protect us. Here's the thing though, is that you need to throw that out and understand that that is not real. What is real is the regret that you're going to feel if you don't at least try. If you don't at least put yourself out there. Yes, you may get rejected, but that fear, that pain is going to be a lot less than the fear of never having tried. So guys, remember, all this conversation up here, none of this matters. You've got to actually put yourself out there and go up there and start the conversation. The next tip to starting a conversation with a beautiful woman is to learn to start a conversation with anyone. Guys, it's pretty simple, making small talk. But here's the thing is you got to put in the reps. You got to put in the practice. If you think you being an introvert, not really talking to anyone, you can read and watch a few videos and then just start having great conversations with beautiful women, it doesn't work that way. You've got to practice. You've got to make your way up. And believe me, there's tons of people out there that have to talk to you. So when you're shopping, yes, just start talking to people that work at the store, whether it be the grocery store, department store, whatever. And some of them are going to be women. Some of them, yeah, you may not be attracted to them, but here's the thing. You're just starting the conversation and you're learning the art of what to say, what gets people to talk. What is it actually you find certain things that you do say or that people love to hear you talk about, and you start to build up confidence. You start to get these cues of how to read, how to understand people, and you start to put in the reps. That is key, gentlemen, is you have to start to practice. So all of a sudden, when you see that beautiful woman and you go in to start that conversation, you've already put in the practice. Now, this next point, really important. Understand the situation. You want to be aware of your surroundings. Some environments are going to be very conducive to a conversation. Other ones, not so much. So if you're down jogging by the lake in Chicago and you see her, she's beautiful, but she's running the opposite way. She's got headphones in and she's really into her workout. Don't interrupt her. I mean, yes, she's beautiful, but understand that you are going to interrupt her day. If she's in the middle of a yoga session, come on, you're not going to get up, stand over there and start the conversation while other people are trying to stretch. That's not the place to start the conversation. However, you're going into your favorite Starbucks and you go here all the time. You've never seen her before. You've been in this place 100 times. You could start the conversation. Hey, I come here all the time. I've never seen you before. Or maybe it's something that you come in there a few times and you've noticed her. She always is in there on Mondays, sitting in the same place. This is how the conversation starts. But that other environment, the Starbucks, much more conducive to starting a conversation. This next point's all about mindset, the abundance mindset. And that is knowing that there are tons of beautiful girls out there. Because when you realize this truth, guess what? You're no longer putting up that beautiful woman on a pedestal. You're no longer viewing her and other women like her as a scarce resource. You're honest with yourself. What do you find attractive? Not what society tells you is attractive, but what actually you're looking for in a relationship. And when you realize you've got this abundance mindset, not this scarcity mindset, you're going to have a lot more confidence and strength because you're going to realize, hey, she can reject me. Because there's always going to be another one out there, that you've got plenty of chances and you just need to throw your hat in the ring. You just need to start talking to women. The next tip for starting a conversation with a beautiful woman, inspect yourself. You want to remove all doubt. How do you do that? By looking at yourself in the mirror and inspecting your clothing, inspecting your look, because you don't want to go up to her, start talking to her and see her smile and start talking to her friends after you leave because you had something stuck in your teeth. No, go to the bathroom, check yourself out, make sure that your clothing looks good. I've talked about the importance of wearing the right clothing. You wear a jacket, it feels like a suit of armor. It builds up the shoulders, make your hands look even larger, which is actually attractive, slims up the waistline. These are the kind of things why you want to wear the right clothing. But other things, make sure you don't smell. Make sure that you've showered. Maybe wear your signature scent. All of this adds to your confidence. You feeling like you're in your zone, you feeling good about yourself, which again, when you feel good about yourself, you smell good, you look good, your confidence goes up. Next up, we've got eye contact. Is it required? No, but it's a very powerful indicator without saying anything if someone is interested in speaking with you. So throughout the day, we make eye contact all the time, oftentimes to acknowledge people. But when you see a woman and you're attracted to her and your eyes linger, especially when you're both looking at each other for half a second to a full second, the first time it doesn't mean as much as if you do it again and you find that your eyes linger again for a second. What's really a powerful indicator is when you share a smile. And that's what you want to do. You want to practice making eye contact and smiling. Again, this is going back to the earlier point. You can't expect this just to happen. It's very difficult for a lot of people. So you want to practice doing this, again, with anyone you meet with. And what you're going to find is then it becomes second nature. Now, if she looks away, and she never looks your way again, she's probably not interested. Maybe she's married, maybe she has a boyfriend, maybe it's just something she's not interested in speaking with her and she's having a tough day. But if it's something that you've smiled, you've shown interest, and she looks back at you, then right here, that's an invitation oftentimes to go ahead and approach her. Now, what if there's no eye contact? Can you still start the conversation? Of course you can. Maybe you're in the library late and she's in the library late and you actually have seen her in your class. Both of you have a paper that's due tomorrow. So you guys have something in common, something you could start the conversation. But here's the deal, is that she hasn't looked up. She's been studying hard and it's been a good solid hour. Well, first up, guys, do not startle her. Do not scare her, because here's the issue. Whenever you break that rule, all of a sudden, two things happen with a person. First up, fight or flight. So instantly they're startled and they're wondering, who is this person that has invaded, and that's the second part, my personal space. You're like, hey, I'm 2 to 3 feet away. But understand, when you startle somebody, their idea of personal space expands. So what do you want to do? Well, if you haven't made that eye contact, you want to make sure you get into their forward area, basically their front zone. This is where they see things coming on. With her peripheral vision, she'll most likely pick you up, and all of a sudden you start the conversation naturally because, again, you've got something in common. Just don't scare her. All right, so now's the big point. You're starting the conversation, but here's the key, is don't overcomplicate this. Keep it simple, silly. What that means, guys, is don't overthink this. So many guys mess this up. All you have to simply say is, hey, how are you? Or maybe make a comment about the situation. It's pretty crowded in here. Gosh, what are you doing up this late? Or you know what she's doing up this late because you're in Professor Tepper's class as well. And hey, Professor Tepper's got us working on this paper. Man, how's yours coming along? And all of a sudden she realizes, hey, you're in that, I've seen you before in that class. And you start the conversation. So many guys mess this up. You know why? Because they overthink it. They think that they've got to have the perfect pickup line. It doesn't exist. And if it does, let me know down in the comments. I want to hear, what is your perfect pickup line? Point being is, don't overcomplicate this. Have a few simple lines that you can default to, and you just simply want to get the conversation going. Now, the next point, what do you have in common? This is very key. And I talked about this again. You guys are in that class together. I'm using this example because that's what you want to latch onto. Oh man, like I can't believe he had us is making the paper this long, or he wanted us to bring in these sources. Maybe she works in that building across the way. And you want to talk about, hey, one thing I've noticed about our building is this. You guys have that same issue. You keep it simple. You keep it fun, but you show that you've got things in common. Oh, you went to the University of Oklahoma. I'm a Texas Longhorn. Okay, so we're supposed to be arch enemies here, but the thing is, when you're in the same conference and you're both up, I don't know, in New York City, all of a sudden you're going to find, hey, I'm going to hang out with this person, even though they go to a rival school. At least we're both from the South. And those are the things that are going to draw you together. So if you've ever traveled and you've ever ran into another person from your country in another country, you know what I'm talking about. It's an incredibly powerful bonding experience that can happen when you find things that you have in common. The next point, assume that the other person likes you. Now, oftentimes we go into a conversation, we think that people are going to notice our flaws, that they're going to see things that we oftentimes see in ourselves, which are not always good. Here's the thing, is assume that that person is going to see the good in you. And just assume that they like you as another human being, because all of a sudden you're going to act in a way that you're much more open, you're much more friendly, and that positive body language is going to affect them, and they are most likely going to open up. Now, this next point most guys never master, and that is know how to wrap up a conversation. Be able to spot very quickly when she is no longer interested in speaking with you. Maybe she needs to get back to studying. Maybe she's not interested in you at all. Maybe she's had a tough day. Point being is she's not interested in going forward with this conversation. So simply wrap it up. Hey, it was nice to meet you. Or great talk with you. I'll see you around. And Have a place to be. Again, it's nothing bad that the conversation wrapped up. Every conversation is going to have an end. You just recognize that it reached its natural end point. One of the issues is so many guys go into a conversation thinking it has to lead to this, it has to lead to that. I've got to be able to take her home. It's got to lead to, fun later on. Here's the point is enjoy the conversation for the sake of having good conversation. And when you can start to master that, all of a sudden you've got a skill set, because most people, they're smart and they'll be able to see when you're trying to get something, when you're trying to lead the conversation somewhere else. Sometimes it'll work, but many times it's going to fail. But when you're able to have authentic conversations, it's a skill that you will be able to leverage and, of course, be able to lead into other things. So what video to watch next? How about how to compliment a woman? So many guys mess this up, and in this video, guys, I show you exactly how to do it without being a creep.